Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 25th Sofia International Film Festival Talks. This year, at our anniversary, once again, we are developing in a way that we never thought possible or needed. We always imagined that this day would come in great celebrations full of fireworks and so on, but no, actually, it's coming in the form of evolution. This is our second hybrid edition, showing films both at cinemas and online so that you can watch them as you see fit. The one thing that we miss about film festivals the most, of course, is not maybe the films themselves, rather as the meetings, the opportunities to talk and discuss the films with their authors from all over the world. So we are bringing you the authors to your place. Today we have the great pleasure of talking with Barış Sarhan, director of the film The Cemil Show, part of the international competition. Hello, Barış.
Hello, Stefan.
How are you, Barış? Where are you now?
I'm really great. I'm in Istanbul. It's a rainy Istanbul day. But I'm really great to talk with you because we have a similar culture, and I'm really curious about what you think and what the audience will think about Cemil.
I'm really curious to hear that too, but let's pretend that we don't know. in a way.
Yes.
But let's start from the very beginning. Your film has a certain comedic aspect to it, something that is rather not. It's not that often that we see good comedies from the Balkans, and Turkey in the recent years has a great industry of comedies, of commercially successful comedies like the films of Cemil, for instance. But which rarely transcend the border. But here we have a serious film with a really important comedic backline, but at the same time, an exploration of the influence of B culture in Turkey, and not only on a cultural and on an existential level. So do you really like bad movies?
No. It's a really question, I think, because everybody's asking me, do you really a B-movie geek? And I said, no, I am not. So I think it is a great opportunity for me to be not a fan of B-movies, because I can, and because of that reason, I could make a distance with this kind of movies. And so maybe I don't make a really great pleasures to B movies. No, it's not kind of a Tarantino-esque cine geek movie. Everything is for me is existence level in these movies, and so I look at this kind of feelings to these B movies. Why a character is so important in those years, and why he is lonely in nowadays. That's for me the most important thing for me. An actor, a lonely actor.
It is true. The story of a lonely actor being rediscovered and inspiring evil out of good intentions. It's an important story, and it is interesting to make a parallel with the film Three Faces by Jafar Panahi, who is also related to the story of a forgotten actress in Iran. So who are the actors, who are the people that we actually forget as presence in our culture? And where are they? Why do we forget?
Yes, maybe it was some of the main reasons that I made this movie. Why someone forgotten, and what they think, how they live when they know that they will die alone, and what happened if a person was so famous in some days, and what happened if he's not in present. These are the things that are really important for me, and I want to make a link between Cemil, the main character, and Turgay Göral, the forgotten actor, with this level, existence level. What happened if nobody cares and if nobody remembers your life, what happened to you? Why it is so important in nowadays, and why we are why it is so important for us to show ourselves to people that we are intelligent, that we are talented, or we have a good life or something. Why it is so important for me? These are the main themes for me. So I picked a forgotten actor for that, to understand these circumstances.
But it is not only the actors that you pick as in terms of storyline. It is interesting to think of popular culture as an instrument of power. Of course, this is a cliche starting with ancient Rome and continuing until nowadays. But we might, of course, always be able to link B-movies culture in Turkey to the ex-regimes and so on. And maybe we should, in a way.
Maybe.
Speaking of this, power structures in your film are represented in a really curious way. You really do make fun of the police, of the security, and so on. Do you think that ridiculing, that making fun of power structures in this way, on all of these levels, can lead to any good, especially in the current situation?
Yes, I think there's a connection between forgotten and the power, because there is a really interesting news in Turkey. Always, maybe we can say, I always hear that kind of news. A lonely actor died alone in his house or something. It is we hear it from the news. Big channels are really like to make this kind of news. And what says to us this kind of news? Maybe it says to us, be careful. Be careful to your life. You should work. You should be up. You should be. You should do everything not to be like this man, because everyone, when you watch this kind of things, you feel yourself a little bit anxious, and you think maybe, oh, he was really rich, he was really famous, but what happened to him? So I might work maybe more, or I might be stronger. Maybe these powerful structures use this kind of strategies, I don't know, to make us strong, or I don't know. I don't know if I can it clearly, but these kind of things, let's say.
But there is a question that arises because your character is tempted by evil in the end, driven out of his rebellion against this existential angst that we have.
Yes.
So then, is the human condition destined to evil in this case?
Yes.
Yes.
being evil, maybe we can say being strong. I don't know. Maybe in my unconscious. The main character, Cemil, is a weak man. Nobody cares him. Nobody listens to him. He can't find a way to show himself. So when he meets with that actor, an actor who played villain roles, he made a connection, but this connection maybe is something for him. This connection is not real, I think. The other people maybe doesn't make this connection with an evil guy, because he needs that kind of connection. He needs to find a way to show himself. Maybe sometimes you find a way to work harder, or you find a way to show yourself and to love someone. and make a family. And this guy finds a way to show himself, maybe being evil, being strong, being kidnapped someone or something else. It's a kind of way to show himself. So for our weak character, this is the way that he finds in our film. It's a tragic choice, but in the end, he thinks that I made it in the end. Maybe like taxi driver, or maybe like Joker. No matter of what, I should show myself.
It is interesting that you mentioned the Joker, a film that I personally dislike a lot, because nowadays, yes, definitely. It seems that nowadays the influence of popular culture, of what used to be considered as lower culture, comic books and so on, tends to inspire more and more, let's call them serious films. Real, both artistic and philosophical, sometimes explorations. So these are the generations that grew up with comic books and bad movies, and of course this is what their imagination works with. But do you think that this also? What do you think whether this also includes the possibility of actually remaining on the surface of the topics touched? In your film, the use of older films provides the intertextual and intercontextual bulletproof vest against it. But in other cases, it doesn't work this way. So back to the question. Do you think that there is also the danger of remaining on the surface?
Yeah, I think there is. In like Joker movies, everything, as you said, everything is so powerful. Everything should be bigger and bigger and bigger for everyone. But in my film, everything is happening in his brain. Everything happening in his mind, and I want to focus on his mind. In the end of the movie, everything getting darker and getting red and getting maybe more evil and evil. But in a reality, there is no evil thing. In a reality, there is no show, I think. In a reality, it's so maybe boring or stupid and weak. But for him, it is so strong. It's so powerful. Maybe like Joker or something. And this contrast for me is really good to make it for a movie, I think. So so I made this movie for this kind of contrast feelings. What happened in reality and what happened in a person's mind or unconscious. So yes, power may be not a good thing.
Speaking of power, we have a really powerful performance by the actor Ozan in the role of Cemil. Yes. How did you cast Ozan, and why?
Yes, I had. Well, by the way, we made this cast 6 years ago, so it was a long journey for this movie. And 6 years ago, I need a character who is a little bit wild performance, wild acting style. For me, Cemil, I can't imagine what Cemil do in next level. He can do everything because he has his own reality. So for me, actor should give me the same feeling as himself. So when I saw Ozan in the beginning, he had a photograph in his hand. He took it from a magazine, and it was a photograph of a forest. The half of it was burned, the half of it was green, and he took it on the table and he said, I saw Cemil character like this. And this is the only thing that I will say about this character. And I said to him, that's great. That's great for me. I didn't understand it, but that's okay for me. Because it means he's thinking about different styles. His brain is different. And Ozan's brain is really different. So it's really important. It was really important for me. And his acting style was unpredictable. We can't understand what he's doing in next level because he's acting in his unconscious, I think. So I choose Ozan for this kind of reasons. And for him, it was a really hard journey like me. For 6 years, he waited. And he's a real actor, but he can't make so much movies like Cemil, not like Cemil, but he made a connection because he's an actor. Cemil wants to be actor, and actors has always feel some unconscious anxieties that I should make a movie or something. Yeah. So I think he find a balance between these personal space, personal feelings, and the feelings of Cemil, and he made a really original character.
It's a great story, and I would have to mention that the whole cast performs wonderfully. Apart from Ozan, also Nesrin Kavadzadze in the character of Burku, and I'm particularly impressed by Fuat Kikik, who's playing the old Turgay Gürel. So this film is also developed out of the short film, The Cemil Show, 6 years earlier,
yes,
like you said. So what changed for 6 years?
What changed in 6 years? I changed in 6 years. My life changed so much, and I was writing the script in those years, and the script changed so much with me. When I made this short movie, in the beginning, I had always a featured movie in my head, and in a way I said I should make a short before it because I should understand the atmosphere, the pace, the editing, the acting style. So I should make a short before it, and it was really a good exercise for me. And when people watch the short movie, everyone says everything, the same thing. It looks like a part of a featured one. So I don't know if it's good for a short movie or not, but it is good for my intention. Yes, it was exercise for me. Then we made a darker featured one. And it was a good experience for me. I asked myself, I will make it again before a short and then a feature. No, never, because it's really hard to make a short movie as well. So, but in this movie, it was necessary, I think.
True. And one last question, back to the social and political aspect of it. I would like to, not to quote, but to paraphrase Wendy Ide, who wrote a wonderful review of the Cemil Show for the Screen Daily. And her formula of, she formulated it that Turgay Gürel, in a way, colonizes the personality of Cemil in a way, in his character, the villain, and so on and so on. Do you believe that actually the evil idols, whether they are prime ministers, generals, or whatever, actually still colonize the minds of different people? We live in a more and more autocratic Balkans and Eastern Europe and Near East. I mean, it's becoming more and more obvious. We see how fascist things turn in Greece. We follow the different things that happen in Turkey and so on and so on. Is there a warning in your film?
Yes. I don't feel that because, but it's not not important that I don't feel it, because everyone can read my movie in different styles. But for me, this villain character says something different. In the beginning, I was curious about copy something, fake it until you make it. These kind of things are really important for me. And in our Turkish culture, I know that we don't have so much originality. We are coming from an Eastern culture, and we are trying to be a West culture now. And so in our culture, everything is a copy of a copy of a copy. So we can't find the original way. We can't find our voice, our real voice. This movie was about this finding my voice as a creator, as maybe a country in an unconscious way or something else. And so for that reason, I need a copy character. And this villain is a copy character for me. It means like that in Turkish B movies in 60s, everything is a copy of Italian movies, French movies, American movies. There is no such evils. There is no such villains in Istanbul. There is no such women in the street. There was no such cars in the street, or there was no such parties in the street. But in movies, of course, there was so many different styles. So for me, it's a copy villain. And for Cemil, he's believing his copy villain, and he's being that copy villain. And for me, Cemil is a copy of a copy. And it was really important for me. It is possible to find your voice to become a copy of a copy. So this villain is not a real evil for me in this movie. It's just a fake. So I just want to see the possibilities of being yourself, possibilities of finding your voice in different styles. So my movie is a little bit cartoon movie, as you see. The lightning, the acting, everything is a little bit cartoonish. And I find the real feeling behind that cartoonish movie. So I don't have any idea about political reality, about being violence, being villain, being bad guy or something else. Of course, someone can see it, but for me, this is not like that. This is like what I say. I don't know. It makes something for you, but this kind of things was really important for me when I started to make it.
I think it is also important for us. So I think this is a great invitation for our viewers to come and see the Cemil show at Cinema House and online. Thank you, Bashir, for your time and for doing this interview together. It was a pleasure, and I hope that soon enough we will have the chance of actually having a live conversation.
Yes, I really wanted to, and thank you, Sofia International Film Festival, to inviting our movie, and maybe next year or some years later we will see each other in real life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bashir. This was the Cemil show, and you stay tuned for the other upcoming conversations in all other categories of the festival. Bye-bye.